Welcome back to Miss Now Speaks, and in today's lesson I'm going to share with you something on quadratic equation, how to solve them, and how to easily find out if a quadratic equation has solutions or not. So first of all, we must know what does it mean by a quadratic equation. A quadratic equation, unlike a linear equation, has unknowns. You can have one or two, but in today's lesson we are only going to look at a quadratic equation with one unknown. And the power, or the highest power that you can see or should see in a quadratic equation is 2. So if you see an equation that looks like this, whereby the unknown has the power of 2, then you can easily recognize this as a single variable quadratic equation. And how did you know that this quadratic equation has solutions or not? Easily we can find out if we know how to calculate the discriminant, or better known by this given formula as b squared minus 4ac. Let's look at again the quadratic equation that will look generally like this. So the a will be the coefficient of the x squared, the b will be the coefficient of the x, and the c will be the constant that comes together in the equation. Now please note that for a quadratic equation to exist, the a must be there, but the b and c not necessarily appear together in the quadratic equation. Hence, as long as you see an equation with an x squared, then it is known as a quadratic equation. Okay, coming back to our discriminants formula, which is b squared minus 4ac. If you have a discriminant valuated bigger or greater than 0, then you will know that this quadratic equation has two solutions because of the square. If the discriminant gives you less than 0, then you will know that there is no solutions for this equation. And if the discriminant equals 0, then there will only be one solution, or actually having two similar solutions. Okay, let's look at one example. This equation here that we have, 2x squared plus x minus 1 equals to 0. The a is 2, the b is the coefficient of the x, which is 1, and the constant c is negative 1. So putting that into your discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac, okay, you have this, and gives you a 9 which is greater than 0. So you know that this equation actually has solutions. How many of them? 2 of them. Then putting it back into the quadratic formula, because you want to solve and find the values of the solutions. So the quadratic equation formula will look like this. You have a fraction, and the numerator will be negative b plus minus a square root of b squared minus 4ac with the denominator as 2a. So putting all your coefficients into the formula respectively will give you these values, and solving them will give you a half or a negative 1. So there you go. That's right, that discriminant tells us that this has two solutions. Okay, let's look at another example. Here we have x squared minus 2x plus 2. The a will be 1, the b will be negative 2, and the c will be positive 2. Let's find out the discriminant again to see whether there are solutions or not, so that we don't have to waste our time finding the solutions in case there are none. And you find out that the b squared minus 4ac equates to a negative 4 or less than 0. Hence, there are no solutions for this equation. And now let's look at example number 3, where we have the equation as x squared minus 2x plus equals to 0. Same thing, let's find the discriminant first, and putting the coefficients into the discriminant formula b squared minus 4ac, we got the discriminant as equals to 0. Hence, we know that there should be only one solution or two similar solutions. So putting it into the quadratic formula to find the solutions, we have that there is only one solution, and that is equals to 1. So there you go, the 3 examples on how you can solve quadratic equations and using the discriminant formula to find out whether these quadratic equations have solutions or not. Make sure you find some questions for yourself and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Till we meet again, take care and bye bye.